Thank you, everyone, so much for coming here today. My name is Rachel Berg, and I lead global marketing for the OleHenriksen brand. We are thrilled to be hosting our first ever panel on Scandinavian skin, style, and wellness in partnership with Anine Bing and this amazing group of people beside me. Over the last 2 years, leading marketing on OleHenriksen, I've been so inspired by our Scandinavian roots that bring together clinical skincare and Scandinavian principles of wellness. I've fallen in love with the culture and, of course, the style. We hope to share more of that insight with you today. So without further ado, I will announce our panelists. So sitting next to me, we have Ceval, trailblazing talent, model, activist with Somali-Norwegian heritage and a passion for human rights. We have Emili Sindlev right next to her, fashion influencer and global style icon based in Copenhagen. Of course, Anine Bing, Danish founder and chief creative officer of Anine Bing. And also announced earlier this year, she is our global Scandi brand advisor for the OleHenriksen brand. We have Babba Rivera, Swedish-born Latina, entrepreneur, founder, and CEO of Ceremonia. And then we have Josefin Dahlberg, a Swedish wellness expert, founder of spiritual shop Ula Moon and wellness body app Body Soul Care Club. And the man who probably doesn't need any introduction, OleHenriksen, founder of OleHenriksen, the brand.
Wow. Applause to all of you beautiful people here in the audience. It's a wow factor. You look amazing. And, of course, being here today among also so many familiar faces that have meant so much for our brand over the years, with the love, the support, the energy you have given it. You're superstars in that world of Instagram, TikTok, you name it. Well, of course, tonight it is all in the celebration of the Scandinavian spirit of wellness, style, and beauty. And yes, I am a Dane, I am Scandinavian, but what I love about our world is we're all very globalized, correct, yes? And you have fans all over the world. But I can say that from my childhood, I was enamored with so many of the wellness principles of being a Dane, including the beauty my mom introduced me to. So when I left Denmark as a show dancer, kicking my legs high, I ultimately, and actually it was the adversity with my own skin, my cystic acne, that was transformative for me, because as my skin became perfect, I decided to go into the business and go to school in London. After graduation, I landed in beautiful Beverly Hills. And I opened up my first spa in Beverly Hills in 1975 called OleHenriksen of Denmark. Again, introducing Americans to all these beautiful wellness principles from Scandinavia. And when I did my first American book, a 7-day skincare program with the subtitle, The Scandinavian Principles of Skincare, I landed on Oprah, and Oprah was fascinated, of course, with these amazing things I took to America from Scandinavia, and she made the book a bestseller. That's the best thing about Oprah. But with no more said, let's take a deep nose dive into Scandinavia with this amazing panel.
All right, so I'll start with you, Ceval, because you're next to me. How would you describe your skincare philosophy? And is there anything in your skincare routine that's inspired by your Scandinavian heritage?
And growing up in Norway, and it gets quite dark often and seasonal, and it also gets very cold and dry. And so I continuously was trying to find oils and moisturizers that worked, but they never really sufficed my kind of skin. So it was very hard until, of course, I found OleHenriksen.
Oh, we are
that helped keep my skin soft and moisturized during the cold winter times.
Amazing. How about you, Emili?
I come from Copenhagen, Denmark, like Ole. And in Denmark it's really cold too, and my skin is getting super dry, and yeah, it's the same for me actually. So I would definitely say that I try to hydrate a lot, and I still do that. It's always been my number one thing. And yeah, so I agree with you. It's all about hydration. And yeah, Ole's products is definitely really good for that. So yeah, that's what we love.
We're not paying them to say that, but. Anine, I'll ask you, how would you describe your skincare philosophy?
Less is more. It needs to be super quick and efficient. I am so busy. I have 2 kids at home. I have a business to run. So just a few products so I can get quick out of the door. And I've been using your product for 20 years, and they have saved my skin.
And look at you, because I mean, if I can interject, less is more. Consistency with everything matters. That's how you gain results, whether it's in sports, in your personal relationships. And then I will add the brightening with the powers of vitamin C every morning, the strengthening with the powers of peptides morning and night, and then the renewing, resurfacing with the powers of chemical and physical exfoliants. We call it the Ole Glow cycle. But the Ole Glow is also that inner glow that all of you have that you need to express. That glow that really is a reflection of a love affair with life, yourself, and confidence.
Well said.
Fantastic. Babba, you're busy. You have a company. You have 2 kids. What's a non-negotiable of your skincare routine?
I mean, skincare in general is a non-negotiable for me. Like, truly, it doesn't matter, how busy of a morning I have with the kids, or, even if they're like kicking and screaming in the background, I'm still doing my serums. I'm still putting on my moisturizer. And when I had my first baby, I would put her in a high chair next to the mirror in the bathroom, and I would just, give her a beauty product to hold while I was doing my skincare routine. So that's a non-negotiable. I am a huge beauty enthusiast, and skincare is, I can never get enough. Serums are my love language. You can never have too many serums, and I love to layer them. And I feel like when I switch to layerings of serum and switching them out for the season, I unlock just like a new level of hydration from within. So yeah, I also grew up in Sweden, in Scandinavia, where it's dark and cold, so dryness has definitely been a struggle, and just getting the right layers of serum and cream and oil, non-negotiable.
Love it. So we're talking a lot about dryness, so, and I'm going to have a lot of puns here, you guys. So, Josefin, what would you say your desert island skincare product would be, if you could only have one?
I think I probably would need some SPF because of my skin. It's pretty sensitive, so I love. Is it the banana?
Bright yes, sunscreen. Yeah.
Yes, this one is one of my favorites to use to also have the hydration, but also have the protection.
And what we love about that too is it gives you that beautiful glow that you have, Josefin, with that banana powder. So at Henriksen, of course, we do love products that feel good. Products that are calmative and soothing, but also here you have a natural sunscreen based on nothing but zinc oxide.
All right, so I'm going to ask everyone a little rapid fire here, but what skincare advice do you wish you would have known sooner?
Doing sunscreen earlier.
I would definitely say the same, but as you said before, less is more. I remember when I was younger, I was just doing a lot of different things, switching between brands and, just trying out a lot of things. And now I really stick to my few good products, I should say. And I try to do that and hydrate a lot. And I feel like we all agree pretty much of what we do, because we all have a busy life. So less is more.
Fantastic.
This is not a product, but I wish I knew how bad sugar was for the skin, because I love candy and I eat so much candy still, even though you told me how bad it is. But I wish it also, I knew how it affects the skin.
It's great for the skin to exfoliate, as in our lemonade smoothing scrub. And sugar is a part of your diet in balance.
I know.
We all like a good sweet. And when you eat a good chocolate cake or cheesecake, whatever turns you on, and then have your carbohydrates to sort of balance. But if I may add, speaking of that Scandinavian heritage, I think it's nice for you to know, if in case you don't, in the morning, splash your face with cold water first thing to just rev up circulation. Scandinavians love winter bathing, you know all about that. And then look in the mirror, lend yourself a smile, embrace yourself, a new day, a new beginning. It's so important, that self-love. And then you can go out and share that love with others. Correct, yeah?
Yes, good one.
Amazing. So Josefin, Babba, what do you think sets Scandinavian skincare apart, in your point of view?
I think it's the simplicity that Anine is talking about here, and also the love for natural ingredients. I think in Scandinavian, sustainability is a non-negotiable. It's not even a thing, I will say. It's just a way of living. So that really sets Scandinavian skincare apart. And then I feel like the connection to wellness. I always bring like an exfoliant into the sauna, and I feel like there is this like, we blur the lines between wellness and skincare.
Love that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And also, as you were mentioning, the cold plunge or having like cold water.
Yes.
I do that every morning on my face as well, and I also love to have like cold bath. I don't love it, but I love the feeling after. That makes me feel so good. And also, I really want to give a tip of one of my favorite products from Ole. It's the cold plunge pore mask, because I have a lot of pores. That's been my thing. And one of my, the thing I really would like to knew sooner was how important it is to cleanse my skin. I've been like taking the cleanser like 5 seconds and wash it off, and now I really massage it in for like a minute, and that made the difference for my skin and my pores.
All right, well, let's go ahead and switch to style.
Ooh. All of you look amazingly stylish. And what I love is you put your own stamp on how you dress. It's so important, and we certainly are going to get that from Anine too, as the fashion icon she's become around the globe. But I know for me, I like to be colorful. Today I'm a little bit more like an older rock and roll star, but I still did my shoes. So actually, I would love to find out from you, Josefin, what would you describe your style to be?
Very comfortable. That's like my non-negotiable. That's very important for me to be comfortable. I work out a lot, so I wear like my beautiful Anine Bing sports bra. But I love to wear like activewears and also having like earthy colors. That makes me like calm and grounded.
No, but it makes a lot of sense. Comfort is everything, but looking good too, as you do, and all of you do here in this room, is amazing. What about you, Emili, as far as style? Because I actually had the honor of giving her the Elle Style Award in 2018, because she's an amazing influencer and stylist back in Denmark. So what's your style, girl?
Oh, thank you. My style is the opposite. I love super high heels. I love colors. I love everything that's not comfortable. Today I'm not very colorful, but normally I am. I love to play around. I love to express myself through clothes. I'm such a nerd. I love fashion. I live for fashion, I would say. I think style for me is very personal. I grew up and felt that I couldn't fit in anywhere, and been bullied in school and a lot of different things, and I couldn't really find my spot. But I always knew that I was really good with expressing myself through clothes, and yeah, that's just always been my thing. So
And your career?
Yeah,
Wow.
and now it turned my hobby into a career, so I feel very lucky about that. But yeah, so my style is a little bit of everything, I would say.
Emily in
It's
Paris.
so fun to follow, by the way. If you don't follow Emili, it's
Exactly.
a blast.
She's
Thank you.
awesome. But we also have to ask Ceval. I mean, here, you on the runway for Fendi, you on the runway for Dolce & Gabbana, doing it so beautifully. Anything Scandinavian that has inspired your style?
When I was younger, growing up in Oslo, Norway, I kind of wanted to rebel against the Scandinavian style, because it was very much growing up this thing called janteloven, where like you kind of all assimilate to the same style and you all kind of like look like each other.
Right.
And since it was not that easy for me to assimilate to that way, I kind of went very bold and very expressive. I remember I bought a pair of heels by the time I was like 12.
Wow.
These gladiator platforms. and I, and I would go to like this 100-meter and running track by where I lived, and I would put on music in my plugs and like learn how to walk.
And now you do it on the runway.
Yes. But I love, and now I'm going back to finding my Scandinavian ways with comfort and bringing my old ways and my comfortability with them.
I need to say something, because when we talk about Scandinavian beauty and style as well, you would normally think about people wearing beige and black and white and very simple and minimalistic lifestyle. But and we talked about it earlier and yesterday as well. Like maybe the two of us is maybe not the normal, you know.
Very not.
Yeah, you would maybe not say that
I
we are
think you put
very
Ula
like
in that camp
Scandi in our
too.
style. But I feel that Scandinavian style and lifestyle is also about being comfortable in your own skin and feel that, I mean, as you said before, like putting a picture of yourself in the mirror or something and tell yourself that you're beautiful, and like, it doesn't
Absolutely.
matter how you look or
That's right.
what clothes you're wearing or whatever, but you need to find your own thing and be like, I feel comfortable in this outfit, and that's what makes the whole thing. So I
makes
feel like
you
in
glow.
yeah, that makes you glow, and I feel like in Scandinavia we really, yeah, we talk about simple lifestyle and all that, but it's also about inner beauty and so many other things than beige and black and white. So yeah, just like
Also, Scandinavians are very active people. They
Yeah.
barely ever stay home. So they, and
always
I
on a
think
bike.
In heels. I was
Yeah.
very impressed in Copenhagen.
You can bike in heels, but we wear sneakers a lot too and very comfortable clothes.
As we think about Copenhagen Fashion Week, so I've been obsessed. I watch every single Fashion Week from afar, but I know Ceval, Emili, you guys have been to every single one I believe, this season, and thank you for coming here on the heels of it. But with Copenhagen Fashion Week exploding, and it's getting a lot of traction outside the region, what makes you most excited about its potential?
As you said before, Babba, it's very rare that our fashion week now in Copenhagen is all about sustainability. I feel it's kind of weird that going to New York and London, Paris and Milan, nobody's talking about sustainability the same way that we do. It's not, I mean, we don't even like talk about that it's an option. It's just how we do it. Like, it's all about electric cars, like no plastic, no, like it's you can't even be on the fashion schedule if your brand is not sustainable, like 80% or something. So, and I feel like that's really, really, really amazing that we are such a small country, and it's actually a country and a fashion week that people all around the world talk about now. And yeah, I'm really proud of being a Dane, that so many Danish brands are getting bigger and bigger, and yeah. So I feel like the sustainable thing is definitely we're front runners on that. So yeah, I'm proud of that.
But Anine, can I ask you, I mean, here with the fashion empire, I mean, what this woman has built around the globe, the diversity, the jewelry, the shoes, the handbags, the clothing, and the latest campaign with no one else but Kate Moss. How has your Scandinavian roots inspired your brand, and how will it continuously, hopefully, inspire you?
Yeah, I think, I grew up in Denmark, then I moved to Sweden when I was 10, so I had 20 years in Scandinavia, and now I've been 20 years in the US. So I think what I brought with me from Scandinavia is the simplicity, just like a very effortless style that I brought into my brand, but then I combine it with the inspiration of living in Los Angeles for all these years, the rock and roll scene here, the music scene, all the amazing flea markets, and I think I combined those two very well, and that's just created a very timeless, effortless style that women seem to
Love.
to like.
I can testify. I'm an Anine muse. I'm obsessed.
Oh,
All Anine.
No, but that really
Thank
is
you.
amazing because I mean, Anine, as you may know, has just launched in China as well, and is off, taking it right to the moon.
it's a fun journey.
And now they're just waiting for you in Copenhagen.
I know I don't have a store in my own. We have
weird.
25 stores around the world and not in my own city, but one day.
Same with Stockholm. I feel
Same as,
like.
yeah. It's gonna, yeah.
Sweden is waiting for you.
Amazing. All right. Well, let's switch over to wellness. And I think this is going to be the most meaningful part of the conversation. So there's studies that are done every year, and it talks about the happiest people in the world. And all the top countries tend to be Scandinavian countries. I would love to hear from each of you. What do Scandinavians do differently?
We have hygge.
Good healthcare.
Okay.
I think is
Fair.
we have a word called hygge in Denmark.
Cozy, kind of.
Yeah, that
it
kind of
doesn't
means cozy, but
translate
doesn't
really well,
really
right?
translate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. But it's all about like getting together, be with people you love, and like do some cozy stuff. And yeah, I feel like that's what we do most. So yeah, maybe.
Love that. What about you, Ceval?
I feel like we have such great nature and such connection to nature that it releases so much happy endorphins and relaxes us very much. And like I think, and in Oslo especially, if you biked maybe 20 minutes, you would all of a sudden be next to the mountains and with great forests and water and all these things. So like the connection and the accessibility to nature, I think really brings joy and calmness to the
Nature
Norwegian
grounded as
lifestyle.
well.
Yeah.
Love that. How about you, Anina?
You know, I think the Scandinavian people are so lucky. They have free healthcare. They get to maternity for a year and a half. You get to stay home with your baby for that long, right? Where here, it's such a
Everyone
fast.
is like,
you're
what
back-
in the audience?
You know, with my daughter Bianca, I lived in Denmark at that time, and I was home with her for a year and a half, just me and her. Then with Benjamin, I had just started my company. 3 days later, I was back at work, right? And that's not healthy, right? You go a little crazy. It's not healthy. So I think we just... It's not. So I think that's a really great work-life balance there. And
Also
I think
free school.
yeah, free school. You know, it's a good place to live.
Very
And I
safe.
think and they take care of your mental health. And if you have a problem, they're there for you. So that is probably also a big part of it.
Yeah, I feel like the reality is that like people in Scandinavia are taken care of. There is a welfare system, there is free school, there is free healthcare. I grew up, as an immigrant kid in Sweden in the projects, not, I don't come from any, I come from humble beginnings, but it didn't matter because I was in Sweden. I still had access to the same education as my rich friends, etc. So I think that, definitely creates just a baseline. But then I think outside of that, what Emili is talking about is really interesting about hygge, and in Sweden we're obsessed with fika, and fika is basically this idea of taking a break to sit down and have your coffee and a pastry. And I remember when I moved to New York, I just saw all these people running around with a cup of coffee. And I was like, where are they going? Yeah, and because in Sweden, like, you sit down. You like take
3 o'clock and everybody sits down and
you
has their
sit
coffee.
down and you have your coffee and you have something sweet too. And whereas in the US you're either super unhealthy or super healthy. And in Scandinavia there's just this a little bit of both. Like you enjoy life, you take care of yourself, and you take a pause, and then you're ambitious. There's
People
a mix.
have time. Like
Yeah.
it's more like.
Do they have more than 24 hours a day? I don't get it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I mean, the life balance between having families and work, I think we all struggle with that. But in Sweden or in Scandinavia, as Anine said, we have like 5 to 6 weeks vacation every year. We don't work on weekends. We have like you're not allowed to work overtime at most of the places, and that really helps us to balance the everyday life. So we actually have time to take care of ourselves. So I think that plays a big.
Should we all move back to Scandinavia?
Come.
Oh, everyone wants to move.
So I think
Sounds like a great place.
so you're
Charter
right.
a plane, everyone here.
So is the USA. We can all agree. I mean, a land of opportunity. We're all here. We're loving it, and but at the same time,
I do love the
but-
US.
If
I'm
I
not
were
gonna lie.
Oprah, I'd give everyone a plane ticket to
Yeah, right.
Scandinavia.
But even when Oprah came over, of course, to Denmark, yes, she loved it very, very much. And indeed, how we lived within small spaces and made it so comfortable. And again, as you brought up, Hugo, that intimate time with family and friends, where you just sit down and talk, and about whatever is on your mind, but it's being together, and it's done by candlelight, delicious food. And then there's the luxury, of course, as we can all agree, the vacation time. There's not the burden of paying for medical, for that sake, for a lot of these, even higher education.
Amazing. So, Josefin, so what does wellness mean to you?
It means to, like, I can talk about this all day, but yeah,
I asked you first.
it really means to support myself. Sometimes it is to work out, sometimes is it not to work out if my body feels tired. It really is like the holistic approach, mind, body, soul. Not to be healthy or to be good for anyone else, like to support myself in the best way. And for me, growing up, having a lot of alcohol in my family. I'm sober now, but I didn't feel good growing up. I had a lot of anxiety. My dad was an alcoholic. We had a lot of diseases in my family. And then, so I never felt good in my teenager years. And then I actually got sober when I was 20. And since then, I just been on my wellness journey and discover new stuff all the time. But I'm coming back to the roots and rest, taking time, really check in with my body and see if am I just lazy or am I actually tired and need to, not go to the mat today. So that's very important for me.
But what's also so impressive about you, Josefin, is really you have taken that transformation of yourself, and now as the newborn, beautiful woman you are, shared it with your fan base, the spiritual aspect of your life. And I think it's so important for all of us to not only live with balance, but also listen to that inner voice that directs so much traffic, that combination of the heart and the soul. And we often do it when we have quiet times. And then that way we also, since we're all creative people in this room, so much inspiration come to us. So the magic of alone time, one should never be afraid of it, because that's really when we recharge our batteries and can be the best for our loved ones, family, friends, etc.
Yeah. So I know, Josefin, you spoke to this, finding that balance, and you guys are all insanely busy women, entrepreneurs. I would love for you just to all share a bit about how you prioritize your mental health.
I think for me, I think you really nailed it with supporting yourself. I have really learned to listen to my I call it my inner genius. There is a genius deep down in there. Sometimes I am too busy, to listen, but we always have all the answers within us. And I think since becoming a mom, I am a mom of two small babies today, I realized that I really do have to put my oxygen mask on first in order to be able to be a good mom. And that is my biggest priority. Obviously, I have my business and so many other things, but my children are my everything. And in order for me to be a good business leader, a good mom, I need to support myself first. So I really do that. And the first step for me there was to remove the guilt. I think many of us feel guilty sometimes for, giving ourselves a break. Even I remember laying down on the couch, I would be like, I'm doing nothing. Okay, while I lay on the couch, maybe I can listen to this podcast. And it's like, do I want to listen to the podcast, or am I doing it just in this productivity, rat race?
Right.
So really asking yourself who you're doing something for, and if it's not for yourself, is it really the right priority?
But I also think we live in a world where there are so many choices. There's so much we want to be part of, but we can't be part of all of it. We need to learn to edit our daily life and do what's most important, and then recognize, yes, to recharge our batteries is so essential on all fronts. Because I mean, that's what, me being mostly the oldest in this room, I know that that means so much for me. I love what I get to do, being a globetrotter, being here with you today, doing a multitude of things. But I'm also good at editing my life and having balance. I think it's key. And staying fit, as we know with Roderick, who's one of my many icons. We filmed some years ago an amazing campaign, didn't we? For Lemonade Smoothing Scrub. And I mean, you are a fit man. And of course, your health is your wealth. You have to recognize that your health is the mental, it's the physical, and all the other parts of it.
Absolutely. How about you, Anine?
For me, it's about finding the balance, and I learned finally to say no, and that can feel bad sometimes because you have to say no. I said no to you a few weeks ago,
That's
Ole.
right.
I know.
I understood. And did I not
I do
write
that
you
a lot.
Yeah. And I sent you a love note.
You did, so thank you. No, but setting boundaries, saying no to things, and therapy. I didn't have a therapist until a year ago, and it's been life-changing. It's been so amazing to work on my mental health, because when you do that, you do so much better and everything else in life. So just having the balance of work, but then also say no to things, just be home, do nothing. And then fill up with energy, hang out with people that fills up your energy, because there are also people that steals your energy, and that doesn't feel good, right? So hang out, get rid of whoever in your life that doesn't make you feel good anymore, and hang out with, no, but for real though,
It's true.
right?
No, absolutely. That's not right, you got rid
Yeah,
of me, no.
what? No, that was a project, but yeah, hang out with good people that makes you smile.
Amazing. How about you, Emily?
To be honest, it's all about mental health for me. I've been suffering a lot from stress. I've been down with depression, anxiety. I've been through almost everything. So if you feel that, you're not alone. So I feel like it's so important when we talk about this and we talk about wellness and which cream we should put on and whatever and all this. It's so important to talk about mental health as well, because that's almost the most important thing. Yeah, I live a super stressful life, and it's really hard for me to take breaks and do all the stuff that you guys are talking about. And I mean, it sounds so dreamy when Josefin is telling about her wellness life and all this, like Babba is telling about a break on the couch and all this, saying no. I'm really bad at all those things, and I try every day, like I really do. So for me, it's to do small things for myself every day, like even to be, I don't know, take an extra glass of water, like do take some, buy a cake, like do small things that makes I mean, self-love, self-care. But for me, it's hard to do the big changes. I do small changes all the time, and I feel like that's good enough. Like we try to do small things every day, and that's enough. Like,
but it is, Emily, and that also leads to bigger changes.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you can also make a wish list, I think, of where you sort of want to tackle new things, challenge yourself. And for all of us, and you are in the driver's seat as these amazing influencers you are, to share with your fan base, as you do so much, the positive, that matters in life, the self-love, the fun, being carefree, being wild. I mean, express all sides of your personality. And when you do, then you function better, because we need it all, including hot sex.
And also wellness.
Right. So Ceval, I would love to hear from you about how you prioritize your mental health, and how has that evolved? I mean, you've shot up to so much fame in the last few years, and I would just love to hear your perspective.
And I was unaware of like how much anxiety and like and anxiousness I felt, especially like I'm working in like creative industry that we do, and there's never like an off clock, like where like we never get like weekends off or like and getting emails at like 10, 11 a.m. p.m. and it's like we never know when to like, okay, now I'm gonna put the phone down. I'm not gonna get calls. I'm not gonna answer my agent. So like that was very hard for me. And so when I realized that it was stemming from that, I told my agents like, and I don't want to do everything, and I don't want to be everywhere, and we need to find a navigating and how and when hours and what to do and this and that helped me very much to calm down and to feel very much present for the things that I want to do and present for my family and friends.
I think something that many of us are touching on is just this realization that there is no such thing as being done with work. Like there is no end destination, so we just have to decide where that boundary is, because there's always going to be another email, there's always going to be another text message, there's always going to be another project, another flight, another, you know. So I think I realized that where I was first working around the clock and thinking, if I just finish my inbox, if I just do this, and then I realized that there is no end destination. I just have to decide that this is good enough for today.
Good for you, Babba. Right on. I mean, you have to know, because we have to just say stop. Now it's me time, or family time, or all that matters.
Also about feeling good enough. Like saying no and feel, okay,
Yeah.
I'm worth it. I'm good enough. I'm
Yes.
strong. I love myself. Like all
Right.
these things that we all like feel is really difficult. But like being better than that, I wish I were, but I'm trying every day. But like, it's
And
just
even like dealing with like imposter syndrome and feel like I have to do everything to prove, and like constantly like in this vicious cycle of this never-ending feeling of wanting to prove yourself and
That's what
prove to
social media do.
others. So, and it is very much like realizing that you are good enough and like what you're doing is good, and it can even be better if you take your time as well.
Yeah, and I also think it's so important to check in with yourself, what kind of mindset you have. So when I got my kids, I also have 2 small children at home. Like I grew up with a mom. She was a single mom with 3 kids. She never took care of herself. I never saw her like laying on the couch. She had 2 jobs, and I just thought to myself, like, I'm not gonna do the same. Like, I can actually create my own reality. So if we go around and say to ourselves that I don't have time to take care of myself, I don't have time to meditate, I don't have time to work out, it will be very hard for us to do that. So to check in, like, where is my mindset about this, and how can I change that? Like, for me, I know I am the creator of my life. I know if I, even for 5 minutes, I mean, with 2 small children, they're like 3 and 1.5. Like, it's always someone attached to me in some way. But I can still find like 5 minutes, or having my skincare routine in the evening. It's such an important part of my day when I like wash off my face, and
They're
also
sleeping.
they're sleeping. And now I actually don't work when they're sleeping. I actually take time for myself, and that's made such a big difference. I put my phone away at 8. I have my time. I do my Ole skincare, and I feel amazing. So actually, I've been super stressed and never felt I had time to like take care of myself. But yeah, for me, it really changed with changing my mindset and actually realize I have a few minutes, because if I look on my phone, I spend a lot of time on my phone. So I mean, there are minutes, but where do we spend them? And also, yeah, just this support for myself, like what do I actually need to feel good? And realize that 5 minutes actually makes a big difference.
But it's all about being number one in your own life. All of us. And when you are number one, you still have the ability to give to everyone around you, correct? When you nurture yourself along, because we all need to express love to others and receive love. But and the fact, I think, when you have the balance, but yeah, you are number one, that mirror in the morning when you smile to yourself.
We all need Ole in our heads in the morning. I'm like, what would Ole say today?
And also do this high five, the Mel Robbins thing. You do a high five in the mirror in the morning.
Right, exactly. Sure, so many of you practice that. The little things that make such a big difference. I mean, the positiveness and the way brain research proves that it registers. It actually, as you make that much more part, and you know that as well, Josefin, of your way of thinking and handling yourself, it becomes more and more natural. You become your thoughts.
It makes you glow inside out.
It makes you glow.
And I actually read that the brain can't distinguish between if thoughts are real or made up. So the thoughts we create become our reality because the brain doesn't know that it was made up versus real.
It makes sense. I mean, the new book I'm working on, I'm not going to go into details, but that is, I have also interviewed John B. Arden, one of the leading brain experts here in America. I worked with him years ago, too, on a TV series. And of course, I mean, time after time, he clarifies you are in charge and you can govern, I mean, you're the captain of your ship, of your brain, and those thoughts become reality. And so positiveness and love affair with life and embracing every day like a new beginning, because every day is when we wake up. It's a new start. You feel fresh, you feel energetic. That makes a huge difference. Don't you agree, Rachel? I mean, she's one of my favorite colleagues. And,
She's like, I'm taking notes.
I have Ula on speed dial, so I get this every day. So fantastic. Well, I wanted to ask one more question of the panelists, and then I wanted to open up to everyone else. But are there any final, we've talked about Hugo, we've talked about Fika. Are there any other values that come from your Scandinavian heritage that you really embrace every day in your everyday life that we haven't mentioned here?
I mentioned it briefly, but it's worth mentioning again, the love for saunas.
Yes, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the hot and cold.
Yeah.
Like there is just something about that resilience it builds. And when I moved to the US, I realized people were waiting for the ocean to be perfect before going into the ocean. And as a Swede, I'm like, we don't have that luxury. The ocean is never going to be warm. So we're just going to go in. We're going to go into the sauna so that we can handle it, but we're still going into the ocean.
True. I love, when I'm in Denmark during the winter, I love swimming in the ocean. It's so
Me too.
refreshing. Yeah, and
It's rejuvenating.
It is. And we just built a sauna at home. And my husband is obsessed. He's in that sauna, I don't know, an hour every day. It's a little obsessive.
We have a sauna at home
You
too,
do?
and I have a steam sauna, and it's
nice.
amazing for the skin.
Of course. No, I mean, the sauna cycle, we've incorporated into a number of formulations, of course, including the cold plunge. And I know when I was a little boy in my village, I come from blue-collar working-class family, after gym class twice a week, us boys were in line for a cold shower that was like 5 meters long. We couldn't escape it because we had to be tough. And you know what? I mean, you come to discover indeed that combination of hot and cold that they love, and seeing winter bathing more popular than ever. So the apartment we have in Copenhagen, I live in LA.
People
and
look
in
terrified.
Copenhagen, it's so fun to see gorgeous women and men like you guys jump in, and of course naked. No, that's
Naked,
another.
by the way.
You know what? This is you see mothers there with the little cutie pie kids, and naked. We are very easygoing about nudity.
Cold plunge sauna. All right, adding that to my
Okay.
list.
You're like naked in a sauna, adding it. We had a sauna at my wedding weekend, and my Chilean family could not believe their eyes. They were like, there are people naked in the sauna because it's uncomfortable to wear swimsuits in the sauna. So why would you?
That's all right, we can edit this out of the final video. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Continued success, love, and happiness to all of you. And thanks for your support on a continued basis.